Hello and welcome to Slamfire Radio. This is episode 486 DX for December 15th, 2022. I'm one of your hosts, Adriel.
I'm another one of your hosts, Random Dave.
I'm another host, Kyle.
Oh,
I'm another host, Mo.
Mo jumping the gun.
Not as bad as me. Dave was supposed to be running this. And
Yeah,
I
that's
just
why
like,
it threw me off.
freaking grabbed it. I'm like, whatever.
no!
All right. Too slow, Dave. Too slow.
Did we intro everyone?
Yeah, I think so.
everyone?
Yeah,
I think so.
We
I
did.
think so.
Yeah, we
Dave, I'm
job,
passing
everybody.
the baton back
No,
over to you.
no, fuck.
Sorry, I don't know what I'm doing here.
Nope.
He got
You're in
excited.
charge now. Go, bitch.
Okay. Dave, why don't you start us off with what you did in Guns this week?
Mostly posted news on Canadian gun nuts, and said unkind things about the government on a fairly regular basis.
Gonna get on another list.
I'm probably on all the lists anyway.
was
And
gonna
again,
say,
to
is-
all our RCMP listeners, hello. Thank you for tuning in and supporting the show. Appreciate it.
Is there a list Dave's not on?
I think we're all on all the lists right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Adriel, what have you been up to?
More than you, apparently. I was scheduling a couple of Maple Seed events. Did a Maple Seed call, I think, recently. I was rebuilding my ARs on that call. I've got them kind of up over here. Fortuitously, timely rebuilds. And just as we speak, I'm just enjoying some vino. I've been making a bunch of homemade wine, and opened the wrong bottle because I just bottled this stuff like 2 days ago, so it's completely tasteless. Yeah, and it needs to sit in that bottle longer.
Aged for
But-
2 days. Wonderful.
Yeah, not long.
Quality
enough.
Alberta wine there, homebrew. Yeah, 2 days. Oh,
I got 2 other batches. I didn't think. I just pulled a bottle off just as I was running in here.
I don't know, Adriel. I've heard that December 13th is a nice vintage.
And then I have been working on rebuilding my Matrix Aerospace rifle. I had stripped it for parts, and I'm putting it back together. Maybe I'll talk a little bit more about that later when we get into the news. My kid went to the mall and he wanted to buy some stuff, so he's like, make some videos. So I made a bunch of videos, and he edited a bunch of videos, and
Nice.
there's a bunch of them now. So I put one out on gun safety because I was like, that's a good topic. I put one out on the Zhukov stock, that Magpul Zhukov stock, Cross Mags Gen 2, and a whole schwack of flashlight and battery vids and whatnot. So if you want to check those out, they'll be on Hunting Gear Guy. I'm probably going to do one tonight on the news we're talking about as well, just because it's so fucking based. So that's me. What about you, Mo?
I dropped off the CZ Shadow 2 that I sold to somebody in Ontario, so I brought it right to him. Very nice guy, Rolf. He's another IPSC shooter. So I stayed and chatted with him, a lot of gun stuff for a while. I went to G4C in Markham, Ontario, and I picked up some I was going to do some skeet shooting on Sunday, so I picked up the 7.5 1 1/8 ounce. I guess it's from Challenger, and it was like $120 plus tax, and I remember buying it for $70.
Yeah.
So I mean, we're for obviously 250 rounds. So yeah,
We're all turning into our parents now, Mo, with everything, not just gun stuff. I'm like, oh, I can't believe how much that was.
I know, but that wasn't that long ago, Dave.
A month
We're
ago,
not-
right? Wasn't 50 years ago. It was last month or 6 months ago.
Yeah, exactly. But I needed it, so I had no choice. I renewed my membership at the Galt Sportsman Club, which is near Cambridge, Ontario. I was thinking about not, because this past year I didn't really go very much, but I'm going to make a commitment to kind of go every time I come back for a visit. I'm gonna go and shoot with my friends. So I renewed my membership there. it's a really nice range too. Like one of all the places I've gone to in Ontario, Quebec, I would say it's one of the nicest in terms of their clay section, rifle, the handgun section. And with rifle, they even put a lot of they did a lot of work to it and stuff. So it's the shooting bays are much more covered now and enclosed. So even in winter, it's pretty nice to shoot. And they have these big garage doors that you open to obviously to the shooting area to open down range. So I was there on Sunday with my friend Mike and Darren, and we did some skeet shooting, just a couple of rounds. I'm terrible at it, but I still enjoyed.
You need to get
it.
your shotgun out and stop using your fancy handgun for it, and you'd be better.
Yeah, is that what it was? Yeah.
Damn IPSC guys.
Can you imagine? There's not enough pellets for me to actually be accurate. But anyways, but I still have fun. I don't get too stressed about it. And it turned out to be a nice day too. It wasn't that cold. We went over the rifle section, had a little fun there too. And then I dry fire practice this week as well because we have a match this weekend. Tomorrow, so it's my local range in CTM does a match every month, and I always go to help build, and then I shoot it the next day. So I'm going to be going there tomorrow for the build, and then the shoot will be Saturday, and that's it for me. How about you, Kyle?
We had the turkey shoot last Saturday at the range. It was a good day. So basically how that worked was a blind poker shoot. So we had targets, you're just shooting at dots, and there was cards on the other side. So I was there all day scoring poker hands, everything, and we actually had a good number of people out. Gage shot and won himself a ham. And then later on I went down and I won a ham, so we won a couple hams at that.
Couple of hams. Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, we both got trip queens, so pretty good. And then sold a few guns and just trying to basically doing the winter equivalent of spring cleaning. Cleaning up projects, trying to get some projects done, and just get rid of stuff that I don't need and just clean stuff up because there's a lot. I'm kind of a pack rat in a way. So yeah. Other than that, that's about it right now.
Awesome. All right, let's get on to events. There's going to be a Lloydminster gun show January 21st and 22nd. So head on out to that. If you want to set up a ladies' day this year, head on over to your email and send one to Kelly, slamfireradio@gmail.com. And she'll show you all about that. Let's get into the news. Gotta start with the big one. The Alberta government said that they're now taking all firearms cases into province, not letting it to the feds. And they said they have directed for the prosecutors to not pursue charges in cases where you got a firearm before May 1st, 2020. That firearm was reclassified to prohib, so that's the OIC. And there's no other charges that were present. So if that's all that they've got you for is possession of one of these prohib guns, they're going to be like, nah.
Are they going to give you the gun back? Like, have a nice day. Sorry for troubling you. Will the police even bother charging you at this point?
I don't think the police are going to bother, because why would you bother charging with someone with something when it's not going to stick? So I don't think they're going to charge for it. They could. You might have it. You might get even, and the gun being confiscated, possible. Also possible.
Now, is Alberta one of the, now some places I know that they talk to the Crown before cops talk to the Crown before they decide what charges to throw at you. Is Alberta one of those? Or is that up to the cop?
Sure. I'm not sure.
I'm
not sure on that one.
Don't know.
But anyways, it's very based. So like the OIC, and they said They're going to do the same thing for any amendment that's added to the C21 and C21 itself. So all the guns that are in there. Basically, what this does is, and I think we talked about this on the show. I'm pretty sure I mentioned on the show, like the best thing that Alberta could do about this was if they were to just say, we're just not going to
just ignore it. Yeah.
Yep. And that's exactly what they did. And
good, bravo.
Not to take all the credit for this, but I did email Chandra about this last week, and it happened
did?
this week. So I'm going to take. Yeah, I did. I actually
Good
did
job,
exactly
Adriel.
this. I'm going to take sole credit for this. I'm sure a lot of
Slam
other
Fire
people
rating.
asked, but I was probably the straw that broke the camel's back on this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, good for them.
That could be
because
fair.
that's awesome.
No, but it's amazing. I'm super happy about it because wow, think of like all the guns that were in that OIC, all the guns since that have been banned, and for no reason, for absolutely no reason. It's the right move. What's that, Dave?
So does that mean that if we're in Alberta, we can go, you know what? We're going to have an AR-15 only match. Go to the range and shoot your AR-15s. Because the provincial CFO does the licenses for the range to say what you can shoot there.
Correct.
Hmm.
TBD. Now, I would email our CFO, but I'm sure like 100 people have already emailed her.
Yeah.
Exactly.
When can I use my AR?
Yeah.
Yeah, because they can give ATTs for prohibs. No reason they can't.
Well,
or did they change that in the federal law? They used to be able to.
No, they I believe they set it
They
so
still
that
can.
for prohibited firearms, you need to get an ATT from your CFO. So
Yeah.
I would like a long-term ATT from my house to the range. That would be amazing. Actually, to hunting as well, just for any lawful activity. That would be fantastic. Yeah, I'd like to go hunting.
Go for hunting with the AR, as it's intended for.
So this takes effect January 1st, 2023. It's good for any of those previously non-restricted guns that that got reclassified.
That's wonderful.
Which is why I am rebuilding this matrix, because I had these parts on a different gun that did the same thing, and now I can put them on this one because it's just flat out better. So
amazing.
I'm happy about this.
Bless Alberta.
I hope that some other ones kick in. Come on, Manitoba. Come on, Saskatchewan. Come on, Yukon. Ontario, you guys need to step the F up. Heck with Toronto. They're not voting for you anyway. So
yeah, they won't. But that's okay. I think that the big advantage here is SKS's M1 Garands, when that amendment goes through, if it goes through, won't affect anyone here. If you're really into guns, move to Alberta, I guess.
Yeah.
Do you think they'd give me an ATT to take my ARs to Alberta, or I'd just have to like smuggle them over the border and then just not?
If you move, you could take them with you, so there's no issue.
True.
Right? Yeah.
Yet looks like you got a little room in your back corner there, Adriel. Enough room to put a cot up.
Yeah. You can sleep with Blizzard here. You can just like
he looks
all right. He likes guns.
Can we seek asylum with you?
Yeah. Status. Show up at the border, walk across with a cart full of our guns.
Yeah.
Well, I think you're being persecuted in your original.
That's right. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah,
they are in our original country.
Yeah. I think you. I give a point there. Give a very good point.
Yeah,
I'm really happy about this.
Alberta.
This is like the most based thing that they could do. I'd like if they like also instructed the police, like, hey, since this isn't being prosecuted, please don't even bother with these charges. That would be tight on the top.
Do real policing. Leave these good people alone.
I think they were going to anyways. I can't imagine. Like this is like a do nothing charge.
If there's no possible hope of anything, then why would they bother? It's a waste of time.
Yeah, it is.
Amazing.
It is amazing. Super glad that they did it. Super happy. We don't know about ARs. We don't know if firearms will be confiscated if you get pulled over and they charge you and then they drop the charge later. Don't know that, but early days. I'm sure Bryant is our CFO. I'm sure she'll already know about those questions and already have like answers for them, or is maybe choosing not to answer them strategically.
Yeah, could be that too. Yeah. Be one of those read between the lines.
Yeah, we're saying nothing but carry on.
Think about how mad this must
Person.
make Marco and the Poly people and all those
Oh, I know, it's
Oh.
wonderful. It's
frothing
wonderful.
that people would
Yeah.
dare to dispute their well, quote unquote facts, whatever the hell they're talking about. But
It would be
yay.
really interesting if more provinces do this, because
Yes.
it would
Yeah.
basically be like the federal government just seeing a complete revolt from the provinces. Which
Yep.
Yeah, that would be
They deserve it!
amazing.
They sure
Couldn't
do.
happen to a nicer set of folks.
Mm.
We have to ask the ranges what they're going to do about this. So does this mean just like have at her?
Yeah.
I'd
Yeah.
hope so. This is like official government saying that they're not going to bother with any of this. So
It
maybe
would
we
depend
can.
on the range license, because if they're still
Mm.
technically prohibited federally and your license doesn't say prohibited rifles, you're not going to be able to shoot them at the range. But if they just modify it, just say good to go.
True. Yeah. I'm not sure.
Because I think
Very
one
exciting.
of ours says no prohibited rifles, but prohibited handguns are okay.
Interesting.
Yeah, see, I don't think ours says anything. Our ranges are just classified by ammunition.
Oh, interesting.
Mm-hmm.
That'd
50
be interesting
BMG,
to look
20
at,
millimeter.
read that
Stuff you
range
can't buy
license
anymore.
over. Yeah. 50 cal only.
All right, let's move on. C21 shelved until after the Christmas break.
Yay.
So we're gonna that won't take effect anytime soon. That's all it is. They're going on Christmas break. They were talking about maybe doing some extra consultation because they didn't consult on the amendment. At best, that's a delaying technique. At best.
Yeah. Well, and I saw someone was complaining because they figured it wasn't going to be till April that they actually got back to talked about this again, because I guess between Christmas and April they have a lot of trips booked, I guess. I don't know.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's all good. They can just bugger off with that for as long as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe take it with them on one of their trips and fall into the Mariana Trench. It'd be fabulous. Mariana's Trench.
feel, Dave? You got your Alberta, moving plan set up yet?
Considering it.
Maybe shooting a service rifle. Maybe shooting service rifle
Yeah, we could do
with
service
some
rifle.
good stuff.
May have to
Yeah.
do a
You
few
guys are
trips
going to be
over there.
using Enfields.
Maybe. We're lucky. I mean, that's a military weapon that is designed to kill the most amount of people in the shortest amount of time.
Yep. I don't know if you guys saw, but the Liberals put a hunter in front of the camera that claims that she hunts with a 22 gauge.
Yeah.
Just that
She
smug
also,
look on Marco's face during that entire thing. He's got that weird grin the whole time. Like, what's wrong with you? And then
Yeah.
she steps up. Oh, I use my 22 gauge for hunting. What?
Yeah.
It's it felt like someone in blackface, like they're trying to put out someone who's like supposed to be a hunter, but they're not, or like cosplay as a hunter.
Yeah.
My dad has 3 guns maybe, and I've never hunted with them, but he did, and I don't really actually know anything about them. Like 22 gauge or something, I don't know. Hunt Tarbigan, and
Well, if anyone checked her seat, this was maybe the only one in the Liberal caucus they could find who was willing to say something, because she sits right near the back. At least she's got an aisle seat, so she's got room. She's got elbow room, so that's good. But she sits near the back, and she's from Newfoundland. So other people from Newfoundland, you gotta like get on the phone and like get on her ass, because she's making her look bad.
Yep,
that's my best Newfie accent.
Yeah.
It wasn't.
Anyway,
very
she
good.
sucks.
I could barely tell you're doing an accent. All right.
Yeah.
Mike was saying he wants the president of Mossberg to testify in that committee. Yeah, that would be interesting. So did
Yeah.
you design this thing? This AR variant?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
The Plinkster assault weapon. Which military units use this? Is that a special forces issue weapon, or is this Reg Force?
Yeah.
Oh, they're special, all right.
Yeah. Very, very special forces.
Is that? Yeah.
The Plinkster.
Yeah. All right, let's get on to CCFR legal fund donations. The CCFR legal challenge dates have been set. April 11th to 20th will be the battle. Join, donate, and support the CCFR. If you want to help support the CCFR, head on over to your EMT, ATB, bank, whatever the heck kind of thing you got going on, and send an EMT to finance at firearmrights.ca. Don't put the S in the middle there, otherwise.
No, that's my website. Don't use that one.
Oh,
Man,
not
I've
that
gotten
idea.
so much shooting money lately, by the way, just these random EMTs from people.
That would be good for money, wouldn't it? All right, let's get into new gun stuff. New gun stuff is brought to you by Bullseye North. Need a new boomstick? Bullseye North is Canada's shooting superstore and a proud supporter of the CCFR. With a wide selection of guns, top trending gear for any shooter, free shipping over $200, some exclusions apply, and subscribe to their weekly newsletter to get first access to their hottest deals. I got 2 deals I want to talk about for theirs. The first one is that they now have in stock the 2023 CCFR Gunny Girl Calendar. Looks kind of like this. Not kind of like that. That's the one. And then the next one is that they have 10% off Stoger shotguns and free shipping over $200. So their P3500, which is a 3.5-inch shotgun, on for $427. Very reasonable. If you want the camo version, it's $517. So pretty super reasonable. Other than that, the only other new gun thing that I saw that was kind of interesting was Cabela's had the Novas on for, what was it, $479 for the Benelli Nova. Not semi-auto though, just pump. But it's such a slick pump. Like of all the pump actions for like between like a Mossberg or a Remington or a Nova, I think I'd rather shoot the Nova. Less parts available for it compared to the Rem, but I still like the pump. It's smoother. All right, let's get on to the main topic. All right, today for the main topic, we are joined by Eric, who's the president of Grey Fox Strategic. Grey Fox Strategic began due to the lack of quality left-handed gear available in the market, evolving to making holsters and gear for friends in law enforcement, military, and various shooting sports. They started by opening an online store in 2017 and moved out of the garage to a physical location in 2018. Based in Ottawa, Ontario, Canada, Grey Fox Strategic is an all-in-one Kydex provider who strives to be on the cutting edge of the industry, from holsters to specialized Kydex solutions. They work with clients to provide them with the best product possible. Eric, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. So I let you know just before the show, I wanted to pick your brain on some different holster stuff. I was actually looking at building some holsters on your website, and I was like, "Wow, man, it would be the best if I could get someone on the show, and then we could pick their brain about some of the different features that you have." Because when you go to the website to pick out a holster, there's a whole schwack of features. So
yes, there's no lack of features on holsters, mag carriers, and all that stuff. So what were you looking at specifically?
Well, let's go through the inside the waistband holsters, because I think that's something that a lot of Canadians just don't have a lot of experience with.
Sure, absolutely. So we have basically our line of holsters come in non-light bearing and light bearing. And I will grab one here. So this one right here would be a light bearing Wraith holster. It's for a Glock 19 with a TLR 8 inside the waistband, lefty.
Nice.
On here, you can actually see we have the Ulti-Tuck clip, which is one of the options for belt attachments. We have a multitude of those. We'll get it.
Does that just lock onto the belt then? Is that what you're doing there?
Yeah, absolutely. It's just a pressure fit. So let me see if I can get it on camera here.
Yeah.
Basically, you'll squeeze your pants through this little opening here, and as you close it, it just tightens up on your pants. So cool. With this kind of option, you don't need a belt. It'll clip onto basically, as long as there's fabric, it'll clip on it.
Okay.
All right, and so that's basically our light bearing option. And then we released a new product. This is called the Shadow, and the light bearing version is called the Umbra. And it's basically just a all-in-one appendix carry system. So you've got the holster here, and if you look on the back, we have what we call our little bridge made out of Tigris, and that connects your holster with your mag carrier. And we have 3 different sizes for those. So depending if you want to have your mag carrier and your holster very close together or a little bit more spread out, basically there's 3 options for that. But that's our other option for inside the waistband.
And you'd pick different lengths based on the circumference of your gut, I think.
Yes, exactly. To put it nicely. Or if I don't have one here with me, but basically our largest bridge actually has some slots cut into it, so that if you wanted to carry a small knife, you could actually clip it into the bridge itself between the gun and the mag.
Cool.
Neat.
And so now, if you want, I can basically showcase a little bit of the belt attachments that go onto the inside the waistband and describe a little bit what they are.
Yeah. Yeah,
Perfect.
I saw a couple of options there, like there was like wings and that kind of thing. I was wondering what those did. Yeah.
So like I showed earlier, there's the Ulti-Tuck, which clips onto any material. You don't need a belt. There's another option. Let's see if I can bring it up on camera here. Basically the same. It's very slim, but this is the Ulti-Clip, and it has a little bit more variability as to how high or low you want to have it on your holster. So if we were to look at this one, basically over here, it can move basically up and down, right?
Yeah, kind of like a hanger.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So these are all metal, and they work in the same way. You just open them up, put your fabric through, and just clip it down. Then we have the plastic variation of that, which works with belts. So we have 1.5 inches and 1 3/4 inch option for these belt clips, because they do clip onto the belt itself, not just the fabric. And then along the lines of the Ulti-Tuck, we have basically a metal and a plastic belt clip. So this is called the monoblock. It is all metal. It is 2 parts, as you can see here. And it only works with belts that are 1.5 inches. But it's very durable. It's, like I said, it's metal. It's not going to rust. It's not going to go anywhere. And then we have basically the plastic version of that. And this one will actually work with either, you can pick 1.5 inches or 1 3/4 inch size as well for the belt. So that's basically all the options you'll have for your belt attachments for inside the waistband. And then the other little piece of the puzzle would be what we call the mod wing or the concealment wing, which is right here. And basically what that does is once you've put your holster inside your pants, this little foot here will sit behind your pants, behind the belt. And what it does is it pushes against your belt. So what it does is it will push the butt of the gun basically into your belly, just giving you a little bit more concealment. So if you've got a full frame gun, definitely go with something with the wing. Like I said, it'll just push everything into the gut, conceal it a little bit more. When you're going with, well, if you have the ability to go with shorter grip guns, then the wing is not as important. But definitely if you've got a full grip, definitely go with the wing. And same thing with this one. I don't have it on there, but it basically connects to the 2 screws here, which are also act as your retention on your gun. And it does the same thing. It basically just pushes the gun into your belly and hides it just a little bit more.
Got it. But it sounds like you'd want one of those. Like, would you put one of those on even if you were running like a subcompact or a compact?
Absolutely. It just adds to the concealment. So, and you can never have enough concealment. So, no matter what, I always suggest to go with the wing.
Got it.
And that basically covers our inside the waistband. And like I said, we have 2 different variations for each model, which is the light bearing and the non-light bearing.
Yeah, one of the things I found interesting was that you had like a Glock 48 option with the TLR 6 on it, which is TLR 6. Which is their one that runs well without the rail?
The TLR 6.
TLR6. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You guys had that option, which sounds super practical to me. Like you'd want a light on a gun like that, and having a holster that'll run it is fantastic.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's anytime you can or are able to, running a gun with a light or a light and laser combo is just that much more efficient.
Totally.
Yeah.
So why don't we go through your outside the waistband holsters?
Sure.
I've got one of yours around here somewhere for a Glock 17.
Well, there you go. Sorry for the noise. So this is our Basilisk model. So this is for the lighted version. So this one is for a Glock 17 with an APLC. And there's not much to these. Literally, they will sit on the belt line, very nice and tight to the body, with belt loops that are attached to our attachment points there. Belt loops come from, they vary from 1.5 to 2 inch. And like I said, it's very tight to the body. So if you're looking for something that is concealable, this would be your option. And as you can see here, we have a retention point basically on all our holsters, all our mag carriers. So you can adjust the retention to what you like, right? If you want it a little bit tighter, a little bit looser, up to you. I don't decide that for you. And then, just quickly here, we do have basically the non-lighted version. This one's for Glock 17, same thing. Very low profile, sits tight to the body. And what we have here is our Cerberus line of holster. These are, I don't want to say they're the more tactical, but they are the ones that have the more options as far as belt attachments go. This one is set up with a Safariland mid-ride UBL, which basically drops the gun down by a couple inches from your belt line, making it a little bit easier to draw and holster, especially if you're wearing something like a plate carrier. And on this model, we have the level 2 retention, which is basically just the Safariland SLS hood that you click on and off.
Yep.
And that's basically it. And then we have our Phoenix, which is looks exactly the same. It's for the lighted guns, and that's about it.
Awesome. And like you've got a pretty decent variety of like colors and all sorts of other stuff going to those holsters too, right?
Absolutely. So we try to offer a variety of options, right? As far as colors, guns, lights, everything. We just try to offer as much as we can. As far as colors go, we will do the more military stuff like OD, Coyote, black, and then we have other colors like pink, Tiffany blue. We've got a new one that is topographic, so they come in gray, greens. It's a lot of options.
I'm just looking at your stuff there. You got like 25 colors on the gun, on the holsters. That's nuts.
Yeah.
Very cool.
I think it's cool. I mean, like, if you have a whole pile of holsters, it's hard. Like, if I look on my holster shelf, and I need to grab one of my Glock ones. They're all black. It's nice to have them like a little bit of color coding in there.
But there's nothing wrong with black. It's the standard color. I think it's our most popular color is black, right? You can't go wrong with it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
What's your most popular holster?
Hard to tell. We can go a week where we'll be selling a lot of Griffins, and then for the next 2 weeks it will be a different model. I think overall the Phoenix line is our most popular. So that is the like I was mentioning, the more tactical for the lighted guns, basically.
And are you selling like mostly holsters with that are made for lights?
Nope. There's a huge mix of light bearing and non-light bearing.
You guys do thigh holsters too as well, right? Not just hip holsters for the outside
Yeah.
waistband?
So just to go back to this one, we don't have a thigh rig per se. This is basically the only option that we have that would drop it down a little bit from your waist. But unfortunately, I can't show you. But the attachment points at the back will basically work with any attachments from Safariland, Blade Tech, G-Code. So if you were to have a thigh rig from any of those companies, you could attach one of our holsters on there, no problem.
Awesome. It's
Neat.
really good when all the attachment points, because there's like so many different systems out there. Right?
There is, and everybody just tweaks theirs just a little bit, just enough that you can only use theirs, but we've managed to make it fairly universal.
Yeah, Mike's mentioning that he's a big fan of your Baofeng radio pouch. You guys have a radio pouch for the Baofengs?
Yeah, we also make radio carriers. You name it, we've made it. We make handcuff carriers, tourniquet carriers, a lot of stuff.
Yeah, you guys got a ton of stuff on your accessories. Badge holders, you got Kestrel wind reader holders.
Yeah.
Flashlights, awesome.
So those are actually quite popular, the Kestrel carriers as well as the 22 mag carriers. Since a lot of people are doing that, the CPRS and that kind of shooting match, they're very popular.
Yeah.
And I believe I might have brought
an injection carrier. Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, so this is one of our basically tourniquet carriers. Fairly universal. We'll work with CAT, Soft T, Sam XT. Those are the threes that we have worked with. And then the attachment point at the back will work with Malice clips or a tech lock, and it can be mounted vertically or horizontally. And these are our big mag carriers for the 22 mags. So this one's for the CZ 457.
Oh, okay.
And basically, you can put them bullets forward, bullets backwards. Doesn't really matter. And on these little suckers, what we did is we created basically a system where each mag is independently, the retention works independently on each mag. So if you can see, the retention point there works with one mag, while the one on the bottom works with the other mag.
Yeah, that would be awesome for those guys who are in CRPS and that kind of thing, because the 457s are really popular in there. And like, what do you run for a mag carrier on it?
Yeah. So like I was saying, those little carriers are very, very popular at the moment.
Yeah. A bunch of knife sheaths. What else do you make on the mag carriers? If you've got 457, you probably have all sorts of weird stuff. GSG 16 mag carriers?
BT9.
So we do, as far as 22 goes, we do, the GSG 16. We do the CZ 457 or Savage. They kind of work in the same carrier, as well as the Tika T1X. And we're trying to make something for the 1022 mags, but those little boxes are interesting.
I don't know.
That's
how
good. Kelly's at work right now, screaming at her cell phone. Why don't they make 1022 mags?
We're working on something.
And all sorts of them. The AICS is probably going to be a great one for PRS and that kind of thing as well, right? Yeah. A lot of those guys, heck of a lot better than running them in your pocket.
Exactly.
1911, cool. How'd you get into doing all this stuff?
So I am a left-handed shooter, and literally finding stuff for thanks. Basically, finding stuff for lefties is hard enough as it is. So a couple of years back, I just decided to start making my own gear, and it just snowballed from there. And like you said in the intro, I just started making things for friends. I was looking for an out from my day job back then, and this just worked out. And it, like I said, it snowballed, and we were able to just keep going with it.
Well, that's awesome. So this you're able to do this as your full-time gig?
Absolutely. So
Awesome.
my wife and I own Grey Fox Strategic. We both work full time. We have 3 full-time employees and 2 part-time.
Wow.
Excellent.
Nice.
Oh,
Yeah.
good on you.
Thanks.
I'm jealous. Nothing like getting out of the rat race to do something that you love.
Yeah.
It's just a different rat race.
Yeah.
But no, it's I wouldn't change a thing going from my old desk job to this. I would never change a thing. It's, some days can be stressful. It doesn't matter. It doesn't compare to what that other job was.
Yeah,
Now,
for
on
sure.
your sales, what percentage is U.S. and Canada, and what percentage would you say is civilian versus military and law enforcement?
So Canadian sales take up a majority of it. We do. We're penetrating into the American market very slowly. So it's marginal at this point. Same with the rest of the world. We have sold stuff to Australia, Japan, all over Europe, but it's just here and there. It's not a constant flow.
Mm-hmm.
As far as civilian versus military and law enforcement, I like to think it's pretty much split evenly, a third everywhere. Right now, I'd say that basically the civilian side's slowing down a little bit, whereas the military and law enforcement is picking up. And probably in the spring, it'll just flip back around where they'll slow down a little bit, and then the civilian sales will pick back up.
Yeah, we'll have to definitely start selling more into the U.S. because in Canada here we're a limited time opportunity for holsters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We haven't seen the effects of it yet, but it's coming for sure.
Mhm.
I mean, no one can get new guns, right? So once you have your holster,
Yeah.
you're set. So go ahead. We do have plans to try to penetrate a little bit more into the American market and the European market as well.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess no new guns. Then yeah, what you've got is what you've got, and
Exactly.
you won't
But we
need
all
any
panic
more
bought like a
guys.
whole bunch of stuff, and we all need holsters for all of those guns. We
True.
know.
I actually need a holster for an optic equipped Glock, so I'll be in touch.
How
There you go.
about
We can help you.
a Narenko Olympia?
No,
No.
no.
No,
I'm gonna need it with the barrel weight and without.
he's not going to waste his time on that. Come on.
We do have our limits.
You just like tie a string around that or something. I don't know.
Stiff it in your pants.
Yeah.
There you go.
As is the tradition in Canada.
So what kind of products are you aiming at doing next?
So we just released I'll just grab it. I did bring it with me in my little pile here. Maybe.
Imagine like a triple chunk of holsters and mags.
Oh, buddy, you should see my gear room. It's terrible in there. So we just released basically a EpiPen carrier.
Okay.
And again, this one works with the Tech Lock. So it can be carried horizontally, vertically, and yeah, it's literally you just slap it in, and we've got to think of other little things like little projects. We've done a limited run of little carriers for cigar cutters. We've done that for a couple of the guys. It's basically as long as I can get the object in my hands, I can either do a 3D scan in the office or design something in 3D and then create a mold to create a carrier.
Nice.
Cool. Yeah, a lot of that stuff is fun. Do you guys have any questions?
Yeah, I had at least one question for the inside the waistband with your what was it, the Tigris. Other inside the waistband holsters I've seen this use basically like a bungee or paracord for connecting, and I understand that makes flexibility. This Tigris, like, what was the choice of going to that instead of what I've seen on other stuff and the benefits?
So we wanted something, a full back material between the two pieces instead of just bungee to give it more rigidity. We tried another material before, handed it off to a couple of people to test, and it wasn't rigid enough where you'd have your holster right up or down with the mag carrier. So that's where we started testing with the Tigris. It's just right where you have some flexibility in it, but not enough that it will like collapse on itself.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So the main thing behind it is just stability and rigidity.
Okay. And that mod wing, is that like different depths, or what would your be like? I guess more or less, like, what would your tips be for someone who's looking for an inside the waistband holster, and especially like Adriel said, the amount of options. Well, how would you suggest someone who's looking for one go about choosing what they want?
As far as belt options go, the concealment wing is one that I will always suggest to go with. It's easy enough to take off afterwards if you really don't like it. But I haven't had anybody complain about it, concealing it too much. There are 2 feet on it. Oh, let me see if I can pull it back up here. So basically that little foot here, which is the part that puts the pressure on your belt, this is basically the large, and there's one that's a little bit smaller, so it doesn't come out as much.
Right.
So there is that option as well with the concealment wing. As far as the belt attachment goes, if you're just starting out, if you're looking for something basic, the best option is the plastic belt clip or the metal belt clip. If you have a belt that is 1.5 inches. You can't go wrong. From there, you can test it out, see if it works for you or not. But those are the basics.
Okay. And so you got a list of pistols there. Do you do custom builds? So if somebody wants one built for a gun that's not on that list, can they do that? And how would someone go about doing that?
So yes, it's something we can offer. We don't advertise it too much because the whole process behind it is, like I was mentioning before, we 3D scan all the guns, all the lights, basically all the objects we get. So we need access to that firearm to be able to scan it. We are a fully licensed business, so you can send us your firearm, but still, right, you have to send us your firearm. We need it for however long we need it for to be able to scan it and then to work with a holster afterwards. And there is a cost associated with that. But yes, it is something we do. It's just not something we do often.
Okay, that's fair.
Cool. Any other questions, guys? All right. Well, Eric, thanks very much for coming on. But just before we go, let people know where they can find Gray Fox holsters and where they can buy them.
Absolutely. Thanks for first of all, thanks for having me on the show. As far as where you can find it, we have our website, which is grayfoxstrategic.ca, and that is gray with an A, not an E. We are in a lot of retail stores. I don't have the list handy with me right now, unfortunately.
It's on the website. Yeah, it's quite a big list
on the
too.
website.
There's lots of places to get them.
We have basically our Canadian distributor, so that's where all our retail stores get their stuff from. But mostly, yeah, if you just go to our website, you can see all our products. You can contact us. We'll be more than happy to help you out or point you into one of our retailers.
Awesome. Before we let you go here, there's just one more question. Shot shell carrier and chew tobacco carrier. No.
No. Some things, like I said, we just won't do. I had a request for a donut carrier. It was a joke, but still, the guy was serious enough. I had one for a McDonald's cheeseburger carrier.
Mhm.
That one keeps coming up a lot.
Maybe a Timmy's double carrier that clips onto
Yeah,
your
maybe.
clips onto your mold.
Yeah,
I'd buy
yeah.
that.
That would be useful. Yeah.
Yeah,
Check
so-
Tim's.
There are stuff that we just won't touch.
Might be an
Awesome.
untapped opportunities in the future, given
Yeah,
what's going on.
absolutely.
Donut carriers. Awesome. Well, Eric, it's been a blast. Thank you very
Thank
much
you.
for coming on, and look for an order for a Glock 48 holster coming
Awesome.
soon. From-
Thanks for having us.
Block
Okay,
17.
thanks,
I
Eric.
see they're at
Thanks, Eric.
Trappers, so I'm gonna have to go there and check it out. That's close to my place, so Trapper
There you go.
Gourds.
Here we go.
Nice.
Yep.
Yep.
Awesome.
Thanks, Eric.
Okay. Talk
Thanks,
to you
guys. Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks again to Eric from Gray Fox Strategic for coming on. Listener feedback. We've been kind of going through the Facebook comments. Russ has one here. AR-15 is not a weapon of war, so we're good to go, right? Correct. It is not a
Right.
weapon of war.
No, it does not.
Right.
I think these emails are from last week. That one's from last week. I remember reading this one. Let me on the air very smoothly switch over to our email with no one noticing the dead air at all. I'll just like keep talking over as
Look
we go through.
Natural. No clue.
Look and act natural. Derek of Banyak Precision would like to send us a Christmas card and patch. That sounds very cool. Please provide a mailing address. Okay, we'll have to get Derek a mailing address for that. And
Thank
Paul would like some Patreon swag, and I know where Paul is. So, Paul, I'll get you your Patreon swag the next time I go to the Sherwood Park shooting range, maybe. And I think that is all of them. Yes. So I got to get a Patreon patch out. But they're in
Come on,
Edmonton, so I got some patches right there.
Get on that.
Bring them over. I can bring them
Jeez.
over. He went to a Maple Seed too, so
Are they?
I've
Nice.
met him IRL already. Yep.
I'm actually
Uh,
hoping that hoping this new ban, speaking of Maple Seed, doesn't go through because I am determined I'm going to shoot a Maple Seed with a DeVore.
Oh, I want to shoot one with an M1 Garand.
Nice.
Like,
That'd be
yeah,
fun.
like the original, like
Yeah.
the reload with 8 kind of thing. I think the only thing that like has me kind of doubting it is trying to like do the load 2 on
figure
the
out your,
middle ones
figure
there.
out your brain with how that works. Like, I mean, you can put a clip in and then just stick 2 rounds in and shove it down. I've done that, but yeah, have fun. That sucks.
Something like that. Something like that. Yeah.
Speed loading that's going to be a problem. You're not going to make your timings, I don't think.
No. And then for the YouTube comments, I'm just going to share my screen. Chrome tab. Yeah. Some of you guys can see what the back end looks of this, and you can see if there's anyone who like really hates us. Comment from Mike about the Gersan. Have the same rifle, have to lean into it more as you shoot because the inertial bolt hasn't had a problem yet with many different loads. Well, if you lean into it more, the inertial bolt won't actually work as good, will it?
If you lean into it too much.
Yeah.
And I did try both with those putting, because if you put it up against a brick wall, it won't cycle.
It won't cycle. Yeah.
No.
I'm sorry.
Any
so
inertia gun won't
you have
cycle
to
if you put it up
lean
against a brick
into
wall.
it the right amount.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, gas operated. Yes, gas operator to blowback's the way to go then.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, inertial is
No.
fantastic for shotguns.
Is it?
But yeah.
I don't like the idea that you have to, be holding it the exact right amount to have it work.
You
Okay,
don't.
the exact
Is it
amount of
actually an
weight, like you're
issue?
thinking it's like this, but that
Yeah.
range is huge.
It's huge.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So not like you slightly limp. You're not leaning in quite enough, and it doesn't function.
No.
You gotta.
Put it this way,
No.
your grip matters more on a handgun than the pressure of the buttstock of an inertia-driven shotgun in your shoulder.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
I've never fired an inertia-driven shotgun, so I don't know how they work.
They're a little bit slower than a gas operated one, but their reliability and the cleanliness of the action is way better. Like a gas operated shotgun, you fire 1,000 rounds through it, and like it's not running anymore. You have to get into the gas ports and clean it out.
Yeah.
An inertial, cleaning's optional. It's not required.
Interesting.
And if you go in like swamps and that kind of thing, the gas operated one has like a much higher risk of getting messed up than the inertial one. All the parts are like big and chunky.
Yeah.
Tony was mentioning new gun stuff. The BCL SRV2. Not sure if it's still coming. I saw the Marstar page was pulled. Launch timing was too bad. Yeah, BCL's terrible on timing.
Yeah.
Got that one. Their pistol came out like right before the handgun freeze. Like, oh my god.
I look at that stuff from manufacturers, and I just think, like, how much money did you sink into R&D on that? And the government's like, "Mip, yoink."
Yeah,
Like,
they don't care.
This isn't like a couple $100 these guys spent on this stuff. This is tens and tens of thousands of dollars to develop the gun, get the machining up and running, test, develop. Like, God, I feel bad for these people. There's no market for that stuff in the States, so they're done. So that's the end of her.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, all those most recent ones in the amendment are, if like a lot of them are affecting the Canadian manufacturers.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. Ah, well, few more homeless people on the street. Whatever.
There's lots of room for them.
Yeah.
Providence was mentioning. Anyone notice the Mauser M15 isn't on the list? That's
yes.
Yeah.
But it did say variant. Yeah.
It said variant.
It said variant. Then. It's the identical thing to the GSG G15 or the GSG 15.
Yeah. Doesn't matter then. Tony was saying, did the handgun freeze affect borrowing restricted firearms, as in loan them the registration certificate semi-permanently? I don't know. I never do those, so I have no idea what that's all about.
I don't know. I called the CFO a while ago to loan somebody a handgun, and it was a pain in the ass, and they said I could only do it for 24 hours. That's all they would give me. So I'm like, really? Because the guy's like driving 2 days, and they're like, yep, too bad.
24 hours.
Yeah. So what if I sell him the gun, then he just sells it back when he's back? Yeah, that's fine. Well, I'm assuming, because they're not doing transfers, I don't know that they'll allow you to loan somebody a handgun. That's a good question.
Possible. Yeah.
Call the CFO and find out for us, Tony.
Yeah. Tony also mentioned on episode 484, do mag change on Enfields should be possible.
Yes, but it's grindy and difficult because they're not really meant to be changed. They're not a speed change thing. They were meant to be loaded up from stripper clips.
Yeah.
They didn't even give them magazines originally. They just gave you clips.
Someone named Trevor Furlotti.
I thought it was
this is lame. They're crap, so yes, at least keep the good ones. I don't know which ones he's talking about though.
I think he was talking about when I was mentioning selling my WK.
Sell it. And this is already
sold.
2 weeks, but yeah, Mike Sand does not cycle 1 ounce target loads. Is there a recoil spring? Yes, we talked about that one. I remember. If you'd like to comment on one of those myriad social media platforms, go ahead and comment on them, and we will probably read it on the air. If you'd like to email the show, send your email to slamfireradio@gmail.com. Finally, head over to patreon.com/slamfireradio. Just help support the show, pay for hosting and whatnot. And what do we use here? StreamYard. That costs money. All that kind of stuff. And we are uploading special content for Patreonies. So that'll be up on there as well. Shoutouts, recommendations, podcasts, YouTube, sites, that kind of thing. Dave?
Shoutouts to Alberta. You go, Alberta.
You go, Berta. You go.
Yeah. And the CPC. Thank you, CPC. I know people rip on the Conservatives for not doing a lot in the past for gun owners, which is absolutely true. That is somewhat justifiable. But yeah, thanks for all the work you guys are doing right now. It's awesome. And Brian Lilly and some of the people at National Post that are actually, calling out the liberals on this bullshit, and really actually telling the truth. So it's good to see that some of the media is actually on these guys about it.
Yeah.
Very good.
My shout out is to Kelly for sending the Gunny Girl calendar. Thank you, Kelly.
Thank you, Kelly.
I'm
Any
still
other-
waiting for mine.
Kyle, go
I'm
ahead.
the one waiting this year, but
Oh, maybe
wrong
your
product.
maybe your neighbor
Oh.
got yours.
yeah.
It's caught up in
Uh,
customs.
Yeah. My shout out is for everybody who helped out on Saturday at the turkey shoot.
Cool. Finally, check us out on Gunners Canada, like us on Facebook, and we'll see you next week.
See you next week.
Good night,
See you
Kelly.
next week. Good night, Kelly.